Okay, we are grooving. Should be getting mic. Good, good. Okay. Right on. New setup is working. Casts a weird shadow, but we'll get over that. Okay, so we need to swap out the sources here. This should be that. Okay. I think we're alive. Let me make sure Photoshop launches before I say that with confidence. We're going to be on for something like 5 hours today. Working on a Tears of the Kingdom painting because I'm very psyched about the new game. Let me push this just a little bit. There we go. That's not bad. Oh, I feel like I already need another haircut. I kind of just got one. There we go. Okay, Photoshop lives. It's just on the wrong monitor. Send this bad boy out. And then I need to get my chat open so I can see it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we want to bring... Come on, Photoshop. Move this down over to here. There we go. Why is Illustrator opening? I didn't open Illustrator. Don't do that. Alrighty. So we're going to be doing a Tears of the Kingdom painting. The idea is like the new kind of mummified Lich Ganondorf that we've seen in the trailer with I want to have this big like shadow of Demise hovering behind him. Or kind of standing up, but not hovering, but like almost like hand on the shoulder, you know, you're doing my bidding kind of shit. That's what I'm going for. So we're going to make a new one. I'm going to make this higher resolution than I usually do. I'm going to rearrange a couple of things on my desk here. Give myself just a little bit more real estate. And then, there's nobody here yet, but for somebody watching the VOD, so you can kind of understand what's going on here. Ah, shit. I have a theory, not necessarily that I think is going to happen with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, but something that I'd like to see, either in this game or maybe in a third one to make a trilogy. So I'm gonna chit-chat about that while we're working on this here. Almost have enough room. Tuck this in here. He takes to a crowded room. Oh, hey! Hi, everybody. How's it going, Rose? How's it going, Corey? I don't have the I don't keep the view counter up on my screen. It's too distracting for me. I can't focus if I'm paying attention to that. So if I haven't seen anybody in chat, I assume I'm talking to myself. Hi. But yeah, I even actually, believe it or not, I'm not usually this organized. I have notes about my theory that I would like to share. That's right. Austin organized himself and kept track of something. No, don't. Oh, fuck. Idiot. Turn my display off. There we go. Isn't this supposed to have feet? Yes. Alright. I think that'll work. Maybe I can switch these. So how's everybody doing today? Sobriety has returned to me, so that's good. We were having a good time yesterday. I ended up with a mild midday hangover, which is kind of the worst kind. Hanging in there? Good. We're putting off Botman again, say it ain't so. I mean, we could work on Botman. Trying to set up a doctor's appointment. Oh yeah, still sick. What are your symptoms, Rose? I have an AAD, also a doctor degree. So I can help you. We could work on Botman. Would you rather work on Botman? Doesn't really matter to me. But we'll talk about the theory next time then. I'd never say no to a painting. Plus you're in full Zelda fever. That I really am. Yeah. Well, like I said, Botman will be... I'm supposed to be called out on that on Monday. And you do want to hear the theory. Like I said, it may not be the most accurate thing in the world, but I think they could swing it, and I think it would be really cool. You're coughing, congested, weak, but it's not COVID. You took a test. Your mom recently had bronchitis. Bronchitis is contagious. So I hope that's not what you... I've had bronchitis before. I've had... My lungs are very sensitive to disease, which is why I was so especially careful when COVID came around. I've had pneumonia twice. I've had bronchitis at least twice. I think I had TB one time, but I never actually got a test done. And I'm sure that's just my hypochondria. But there were little black dots in my phlegm. Been sick for over a week now, so probably going to be that. Yeah, it doesn't bode well, Rose. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a doctor. This does not constitute legal advice or whatever. But my fingers are crossed for you that it's not that. I hope not. Okay, we should make this a big painting. It needs volume. Should we... I will ask this. So the idea is the new Ganon design, that like mummified Ganon design with a big shouldery Demise over the back of him. That kind of sounds like it should be in portrait, doesn't it? That's kind of what I'm feeling. Hello, Booger. We're going to get into the theory as soon as I get going here, but... You got the consumption and survived. 1800s Victorian children are jealous of my immune system. Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah. I'm prone to disease, but apparently very resilient. When I had pneumonia... I had to do so many, like, MRIs and shit. It wasn't the most pleasant thing in the world. I feel like I had to deal with a lot more of that stuff when I was a kid, though. I mean, everybody does, right? Your body's way more sensitive to disease when you're a kid. But I had that, like... I'm sure I've told you guys before about the eye thing that I had. It's called a pterygium, which is something that's not supposed to affect young kids. It's supposed to happen to, like, the elderly. Not even the elderly, just, like, people, like, starting around your 50s. And I got it in 6th grade. Just a growth on my eye. And I had to go and have them... they had to put me under, take it off with a scalpel, and then there was a dissolving stitch on my eyeball. Which was, itchy, to say the least. Okay. I want big. I want it to be like printable size. $2560 by $1440 could work. I mean, we'll flip it obviously, but that's big enough, right? Why not? My ingrown toe still hurts. Lola, why? I feel like the portrait works. We're gonna have to figure out how this is laid out here. Okay. So we're gonna swap these out. I'm in place here. And where are my notes? Y'all are getting music and everything? Everything's coming through okay? Oh, I saw the... speaking of random media stuff, which I guess that counts as a segue, right? I saw the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer this morning, or at least the TikTokified version of it. Music's great, dishes are better.
Sorry.
And the overlay still has the challenge rolls up. Oh shit, you're right, it does. Thank you. No, the dishes will be they'll be done in a second. I just made lunch.
I still have to do them.
Huh?
The putting away part.
That's fine. Do your thing. Here's what I can do. Bring this down just a little bit, because I'm a loud boy, so that's not really a problem. And then we can bring that up just a smidge. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go for... and that's kind of a hint at where the... not even really a hint, that's kind of the gist of the idea of where the theory is going. So, I've been watching a lot of... I've mentioned in the stream, I've been watching a lot of like lore content around Zelda, and just kind of the history and everything that's happened across all of the games, because I didn't play all of them, right? I've played several. I've played Twilight Princess. I've played Wind Waker. I've played Link's Awakening. I've played the original one a little bit. I've played... what else? I mean, obviously Breath of the Wild. And others. Oh, and I've played a lot of the handheld ones. The train one. Can't remember. Spirit Tracks, right? Isn't that what it's called? I've played... A Link Between Worlds, several games, and I really like the lore. And oh yeah, and I have my notes to help me. And I've also been just following Zeltic, and Monster Maze is another one that talks about a lot of the just Zelda lore stuff. And what I've been thinking is... trying to get my brain going here at the same time. Where's my paint bucket? Oh, it's in the gradient mode right now.
Can I just throw these away? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So I just like...
Yeah, totally. Okay, I'm just making sure things are working here, because it does seem a little weird. Honestly, starting from a black background might actually be cool, but that's not what I had in mind. Maybe we could start from a toned background. Since we got the narrow painting, we can kind of do the fatter border here. Oh, that's right. It's popping up here. So yeah, I've been watching Zeltic, I've been watching Monster Maze, and it's got me like really thinking about what we could do with the lore that would be a little more fun. And Zelda like has this, you know, cyclical theme, right? And they really canonized that in Skyward Sword. That was, I mean, that was what basically the whole game was about, was making the repeating cycle of Ganon, Zelda, and Link into this like actual like lore-based story element. And I really liked that. Okay, I want this to be kind of a taupe. A dark taupe. Can you have a dark taupe? Is that a thing? I don't know if that quite qualifies. Seems like a good place to start, though. Yeah. Looks really green on your screen. It looks more reddish on mine. Let's try and boost that a little bit. There we go. That feels a little better. Okay. So we've got this theme that already exists in Zelda of the cycling timeline. And I know there are the symbols around the new game, around Tears of the Kingdom. There's like an Ouroboros and like, you know, the dragon eating its tail in the main logo, and you've got this like rotten dead Ganondorf, and so people are wondering. I've seen some theories floated around that maybe we could be actually killing Ganon in this new game, which would be interesting. But I don't know if that's exactly the way they would want to go. What I would like to see is, like, we've had non-Ganon villains before, right? We've had Yuga, we've had Vati, we've had villains that are like at least somewhat independent of Ganondorf, some of them more than others. I would like to see a separate villain that's a little more connected, and they did that really well in Skyward Sword with Demise, making it separate but like the original. So you end up with this weight that's kind of inbuilt, you know? And I feel like if you were to kill Ganon, the best way to do that and still go on, and like it seems like they're kind of in this mode of revamping what the Zelda universe is. They have this, you know, big open world gameplay system that is kind of new. It feels familiar to the rest of the Zelda games, but it doesn't. It's its own thing, and it feels like it might be a good time to kind of like jumpstart the lore also. And what I heard as a way to do that was that, you know, people were thinking maybe they would just loop back and kill Ganon and find themselves set in a situation where, like, the Zelda that we have now, who has fully realized her Hylia powers and lives on the ground with everybody, and, you know, like, you know, there was a period in their history where Hylia supposedly lived in Hyrule. And so I've heard bits of this theory, and I'm just kind of like crystallizing that into it. Seems like people are wondering if you would basically consider this time period the before time that's talked about in Skyward Sword. and that maybe this is actually all the way at the beginning as opposed to all the way at the end, or that it's literally just a circle. And I thought that would be cool, but I kind of had a different way of looking at it, because Zelda, the Zelda universe does cycle, but it doesn't like cycle perfectly, you know. Each time it comes around, things are different. It's some of the same pieces rearranged into a new format or a new situation, new versions of the same problems, right? And this is the Yui bulb that I used to make that pattern. I made a brush out of it. So let me see. Hold on. Let me return to my notes here. I kind of trailed off. Oh yeah. So I talked about that. There was, so when you had Demise, you had something that actually had weight toward the rest of the series rather than just being this kind of aside, almost alternate universe kind of thing. So if they want, and they want to make this lore a lot more solid than it used to be, I would kind of like to see Ganon get destroyed by the return of Demise, and have Demise come back outright and be the new central villain, at least for a little while. Here, let me see what I have here. Ouroboros, yada yada, talked about all of that. Oh yeah, okay. So you remember Fi, right? Fi is the spirit that lives inside the sword in Skyward Sword. And with Fi, excuse my crunching. With Fi, you had this really sad but really powerful ending where it like went into a permanent sleep inside the sword, which was a really great ending. But it was kind of made clear in Breath of the Wild, in like the memories and things like that, that Fi still lives in the sword. And so even though she was kind of gone, she's around, right? And we don't really know exactly what happened to Girahim, who was the primary antagonist for most of Skyward Sword, and then kind of got reset and absorbed into the sword when Demise came out. And then he was just kind of gone. He was absorbed into the sword, and then when you defeat Demise, the sword just kind of disappears. And I don't know. I think especially with all the talk that we've had in Breath of the Wild about how disappointing the sword was, the Master Sword, I mean, I think it would be very interesting to have a storyline that's kind of centered on bringing the Master Sword back to its full potential. It's full Monty. And I think a good way to kind of push the story in that direction would be to bring back that demon sword, the Girahim and Demise's sword, and you could do that by like you have Ganon rebuilding this corporeal form, right? He's coming back with an actual body. At least that's what it looks like in the new game. And so I don't know. Maybe Ganon is like pursuing a way to make himself stronger than he's ever been before, which is something that I think you could achieve by having him go for that original sword. So if he's going out into the world and, bringing himself back to life, essentially, so that he can go out, it could be fun, like peeling back the layers of evil. Exactly. So you have this, like, surface veneer that is Ganondorf. Or I guess I gotta separate the two. So Ganondorf is the man, right? The former Gerudo king, with all of those, all of the history and backstory that goes along with that. And then underneath him is Demise, like a kind of virus, right? It's like it's infected him, kind of the way that the Calamity infects all of the Sheikah technology in Breath of the Wild. Like it just kind of lives inside of him. So what if he goes to try to make himself more powerful by getting his hands on the perfect foil to the Master Sword, which is that demon sword that Demise had, which had an inverted Triforce on it, if I'm not mistaken, and try to use that, maybe to even destroy the Master Sword, and kind of render Link a little more useless. And, like, just put a stop to the cycle. And maybe he does put a stop to the cycle, but not exactly in the way that he planned. Like, my thought was that you would end up in a fight with Ganon halfway through the game, rather than at the end, and you could have Demise, just because he's like you've got the spirit of Demise living inside of Ganondorf, and then you've got his sword, Demise's sword, and Ganon goes and seeks that out for himself, but in doing that, he ends up bringing Demise's spirit close to his weapon, which seems to be a way that he channels his power. Like, Girahim's able to summon demons and do all the things that are supposedly attributed to Demise's actual, like, power set. So there's some kind of connection there, right? So maybe bringing the two together might wake up the King of Evil that's sleeping inside of Ganondorf, and he could just peel out of his rotten, mummified form like a skin suit. And then for the second half of the game, you'd have to be dealing directly with Demise. I think it could be really interesting. And so what I'm trying to draw here is something that's kind of thematically that. I want this, like, hunching, weak-looking Ganondorf. And then I want this big, broad Demise figure behind him. I'm just doing broad shapes right now, but something a little more like this. Oh no, I don't want that there. I want that there. There we go. And kind of what I was thinking, because we've already seen this world that Breath of the Wild takes place in, right? And we're going to be revisiting that world for Tears of the Kingdom. And I would have a little bit of worry if I'm the developers of the game. I would be worried that people are going to be bored, right? You've already explored this world inside out. You're going to need to add new territory. It seems from the trailers and the conversations around the game that there will be some amount of, like, cave exploration element, and that could lead to more traditional Zelda dungeons, which I liked the shrines. I thought it was very fun. I would like to return to something that's a little more traditional Zelda dungeon. And I think they're probably going to do that with the caves and the things like that. And there's, the castle rises up into the air, so maybe there's more castle to explore underground. Those are things I've heard Zeltic and Monster Maze and some other people talk about. But I still think you're going to want to revamp the surface world too, because you're still going to be running around on the surface, guaranteed. You've got the stuff going on in the sky, great. More things up there. You've got stuff going on in the ground, hopefully, right? So you've got more content there. But you're still going to want to do something to the surface. And I thought if you got to a halfway point where Demise returns, I thought it might be interesting for there to be a more severe corruption. Like what the calamity and the what's the word I'm looking for? The blight, the malice. Like what the malice could have been with a little more power. and kind of pull a similar move to what Twilight Princess pulled, where they got 2 maps out of a single map by having a normal version of the world and a corrupted version of the world, and you've got basically 2 different ways to play through the same area. You could do something similar with Overworld Hyrule, either in large sections or across the whole map if you were feeling particularly adventurous. And you could have Demise like corrupted into a demon world. Like you can turn Zora into the Dark Zora with the tentacles from their original appearance. You could have Hylians turn into Stalfos. You could have I don't know, something, insert Evil Goron here. But it would be kind of interesting to have a flipped demon world, like almost like a Twilight reference. So Demise's whole deal in Skyward Sword was that he was getting the Triforce. Breath of the Wild, as far as I know, basically ignores it. Do I think they'd be doing something there? I would hope so, yes. So my thought was that Ganon might be trying to destroy the Triforce, because this continuing cycle isn't working, and what he really wants is power, right? So he's getting the sword with the intent to destroy the Master Sword and or destroy the Triforce, and then the act of trying to do that and bringing everything together into one location brings Demise out to basically circumvent Ganon's plan, seize the Triforce for himself, and like actually achieve the ultimate power that he was going for. Because I mean, talk about stakes, right? If he's got the Triforce and Link has to pull the world back from his clutches, that's like the impossible, right? So he was trying to get it last time. I think if they were to do that this time, the way to go would be to have him actually succeed because of Ganon's mistake. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think having him go for the Triforce would be a great way to bring that back in this world. Because, everything's stories at this stage in the game, right? Everything's like old legends of things that happened a long time ago. And the newer story that happens in Breath of the Wild, while there's the big fantastical calamity, it's very terrestrial. I'd love for that to mean Zelda gets more active attention since she's wielding that godly power. 100%. Well, and what it seems like in Breath of the Wild is that she doesn't just have the Triforce of Wisdom, she has all 3 pieces. And that's what's being passed down in her bloodline now, or at least that's what it feels like. So it would be great for that to be some sort of direct conflict between Zelda and Demise. I know, I myself included, a lot of people have wanted to see Zelda become playable. And it seems like that might be implied in the trailers we've been watching. I need to get some reference temperatures up. It seems like that might be implied by some of the trailers and stuff that's been coming out for Tears of the Kingdom. But we can't really be sure, right? I would very much like that to mean that Zelda has a much more active role in the conflict. Tears being in the title implies they're doubling down on Sheikah stuff. Well, maybe. I mean, I could see that for sure. I mean, especially what with the symbolism of tears for how, how all of the data is transferred to the Sheikah slate, and how that their magic version of science seems to be fueled by that blue energy. And then you have the tears of the lost tribe of the Sheikah. So yes, I could see that. The thing that makes me question it, or at least wonder if there might be more of a lore approach and less of a gameplay approach to that, is the fact that, at least in everything we've seen so far, all the Sheikah stuff seems to be gone from the surface. So maybe there's more underground. Maybe I would wonder if they'd want to move on to a different section of the lore. But I mean, Sheikah are just so important to everything that's ever happened in Hyrule. It would be a bit weird to back away from them. So yeah, I mean, I could very much see that being staying a central element of the new game. What I wonder is what role they would play, because I didn't really think about them that much in terms of this situation with Demise. I mean, obviously the Sheikah were involved, right? Impa, in the original Demise incident in Skyward Sword, right? Impa was very present. She used time travel to help Link and Zelda kind of cut off Demise before he could actually do anything. So they would have a very heavy hand in that. And if anybody has existing, like in canon, if anybody in Hyrule still has knowledge and preparation and plans regarding Demise himself, that would probably be the Sheikah, right? From a game scenario, it feels like the main quest will be about purifying Link with his arm and sword. Would that be Power of the Gods related? Yeah. I definitely think so. I know one of the... which is also kind of a Twilight Princess throwback. Totally. Yeah, there seems to be some kind of corruption going on there. I would like to see... Well, it also seems spirit related, because, I mean, Zelda's really consistent with color. This isn't my theory. This is me echoing a Zeltic thing that I watched recently. But they were talking about the fact that the Zonai seem to be some sort of ancient tribe, like the people who made the barbarian outfit, and that they seem to have some sort of direct connection to Ganon, or Ganondorf, one of the two, if not both. And that they were performing some kind of ritual there in order to preserve him or turn him into a lich, which is like a willing zombie, basically, something that a sorcerer can do to turn themselves deliberately into a zombie, retain their memories, and not have to die. So the theory around that, at least from what I've heard, is that Link got in the way of that ritual, or somehow got sucked into it, and that's why he has the green and black hand, which that green color is very consistently spirits. So the question there is, spirits of whom? You know? I would wonder... Sorry, my head's a little split here because I'm trying to find... I need Demise artwork. Okay. And then I want to get that picture of the new Ganondorf. But yeah, so you have that same theme of purifying Link that you have in Twilight Princess, because he's infected by the Twilight. And love you. Now the thing with that is, if you have that kind of infection, right? Ganon has this history of using other cultures' power to help make himself stronger. That's kind of a recurring theme with him. It's a pretty big thing that he does. Wondering about the 7 stages, or the 7 sages from the 7 entities on the mural in the trailer. Yes, 100% going to be something 7 sages related, because you have those, like you said, those 7 spirals. And the 7 sages are obviously connected with the creation of the Master Sword. They're connected with the Sacred Realm. They're pretty heavily rooted in, feelings. They're pretty heavily rooted in the origins of Hyrule. And this, for lack of a better word, this recurring predicament that they find themselves in. The sages are really heavily rooted in that. So, if we were going to do something like what I'm talking about here, where we bring back that anti-Master Sword, that Demon Sword, whatever you would call it, if we're bringing that back and doing something with Fi and Girahim, either symbolically or literally, it would be proper for them to be involved, right? They supposedly helped Hylia make the original sword. They're connected in the origins of that. Maybe they're also connected to the origins of that demon sword. Maybe it's kind of a yin-yang thing where, you know, for one to exist, the other one has to exist. So in creating the sword that seals the darkness, they inadvertently and unavoidably created the demon sword, the one that wields darkness, and so maybe they're kind of intrinsically connected, and as long as one lives, the other one also lives. Think like the Rava and, help me, from Legend of Korra. It's what is his name? What is the evil one? Unalaq is the guy that wields it. But you've got the light spirit and the dark spirit in Legend of Korra, and one like grows inside of the other one until it's born again every time one of them gets killed. And so it could be something like not directly that, where the dark sword would be born out of the master sword, but where as long as one exists, both exist. And the only way to break this cycle could be, like, you either have to destroy the Master Sword, you have to destroy the Triforce, you know, and that brings back to what I was suggesting might be the plan on Ganon's part. Maybe just try and bring all of these things together and destroy them. Booger! It's okay. Come here, you little sap. Get over here. Come here. Come here. Okay, there we go. We need some cuddles, I think. But so the 7 sages could very well be a necessary part of that ritual, right? If you need to destroy the Master Sword, think kind of, you know, Fires of Mordor, right? You would need the same kind of power that created it in order to destroy it. Lola. So, if that's necessary, then the sages would need to be involved, and maybe there needs to be some kind of ritual directly involving them in order to pull something like that off. And like when you do Trials of the Sword, from the DLC in Breath of the Wild, there are the 7 monks that are sitting there. Hey, how's Notcats doing today? There are the 7 monks that are sitting there in the same arrangement as the sages. I mean, it doesn't seem like they literally are the sages, because the sages are supposed to be all different races, right? And the monks are obviously all Sheikah monks. All right, I'm letting you go. Go on, Boogie. 3 days until you can change your name. I'm waiting with bated breath, cats. Boogie, just hang out. It's okay. Hi, Scotty. So what I want to do here... So that's kind of the gist of the theory that I have. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it on here, because it's definitely not a complete concept. And I was curious what y'all would add. And the 7 sages, having them involved is a really good point. I really like that. I think it's super likely that they would be related. And what I was wondering was, you know, I had mentioned earlier in the stream that it could be maybe that the hold on, I need to deselect that. that. Maybe this isn't for this game and it's for the next game, right? So in this game you have the resurrection of Ganon and the beginnings of this plan to kind of destroy the Triforce. And then in the third game, you have the resurgence of Demise undermining that plan, and then you have to face Demise directly. Also wondering if Demise's inverted Triforce could relate to Lorulean Triforce, but that is major spitballing. I have wondered about that also, though. It is major spitballing, but it's the only other time we've seen an inverted Triforce like that. So it would be interesting. Now, I did play A Link Between Worlds. It's a long time ago. They didn't have their own version of the Master Sword. At least not that was stated in Lorule, right? So maybe that's where Demise is from. Like you have Hylia, and you have the Master Sword, and you have the Triforce in Hyrule. And then you have Demise, and you have his Demon Sword, and you have the inverted Triforce in Lorule, and maybe it's more of a conquest thing. Their Triforce was destroyed, so I don't think a sword could exist. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about their Triforce being destroyed. And that's part of why things are, or it's the main reason why things are all twisted there, right? Although, when was their Triforce destroyed? And if we're talking about destroying Triforces, sure. If we're talking about destroying Triforces, that could be relevant to this whole situation, right? Because we could actually connect that further. If Ganon's trying to destroy their Triforce, then what remains of Demise, whether that's conscious or not, is kind of up for debate, but we're assuming for the purposes of this that it at least feels, right? So what remains of Demise inside of Ganon might be sensing a recurring of his own plan that he tried to execute in Lorule eons ago. We could bring more weight to the whole Lorule thing. It's not a bad idea. Hey Dean, how you doing? We'll raise this up a little bit more. There we go. Sorry, I bumped the camera there. But you know, so that really could work. With bringing Lorule into it might actually be the missing piece to the logic here. There we go. Got the rise. I just have some reference pictures up. There are so many dark worlds, but they're all mostly connected to demons such as Demise. Yeah, I mean, if you say he's the origin of all evil and of all demons, I mean, it could work. That I don't like that. Hold on a second. You need to see the vaguely sexy Demise that's on my screen right now. Hold on. Where is he? What is this? Why have we done this? What's happening here? I'm looking at Demise reference art. I just see this come by. Like, ooh. Hey there, Demise. I like your new look. Anyway. Tears of the Kingdom, Ganon. Images. Wow, oh, there we go. Okay, there's the mummified Ganondorf. Okay, that's good enough for me. So, yeah, you say there are. Okay, let me go back here. There are so many dark worlds, but they're all mostly connected to demons such as Demise. Yeah. Well, and I don't see that as a problem, right? Because you could say that he's... You got two options there, right? Either he's already successfully taken over a bunch of other worlds in his quest for, like, multiversal dominion, for lack of a better turn of phrase. You're just saying that the low rule is a very specific dark world to that game. Oh, meaning, like, we wouldn't actually necessarily have to use that one? Is that what you're saying? I do agree. If that's what you're saying, I'm hearing you. The thing that I'm thinking is you could take that to mean that he's like one of two things, right? Either he's on this like multiversal quest for dominion and trying to basically cover all of the worlds in demons and be king of everything. And Hyrule is this one space that's like carved out, a corner that's protected by Hylia's light that he cannot overcome. And you can look at it that way. Or you can look at all of the other existing demonized worlds as failed attempts at something like that, where Hyrule would be another chance to succeed. Right, because you have... take the Twilight Realm, for example. That's another, like, demon world. But even though it's all dark and twisted there, as long as Ganondorf wasn't there, the people were happy and things were working. And, like, you know, they just lived their lives. So, it could be... Or there's just one dark world at a given point that manifests differently. Totally. Yes, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah, it could be any one of those things, and you could still swing this idea that he's trying to prevent Ganondorf from making a mistake he's already made. I mean, because he's obsessed with getting the Triforce in Skyward Sword, but at the end of that... Well, hold on. I'm talking myself into a circle here. Because he's obsessed with getting himself... Demise is obsessed with getting himself the Triforce at the end, or throughout all of Skyward Sword. And at the end, he's killed, and basically as he's, like, falling off the cliff, right, he just kind of curses the timeline itself. And says, well, this shit's just gonna keep happening. Whether it's me, or whether it's someone carrying my spirit, or whatever... You're going to be in this cycle, and your children and your children's children, and, you know, a plague on both your houses, and so on and so forth. So, would that mean that he's given up on pursuing the Triforce? This is kind of all leading to the Sacred Realm. Ganondorf's seal, the Seven Sages, the need for the Triforce, the different worlds. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think... it could lead to a showdown in the Sacred Realm, which would be really cool. Because up until now, that's not really been a site for conflict. There's a Zeltic theory that the Trial of the Sword takes place in the Sacred Realm, which is interesting. But if you put that aside, because that's just a theory, we don't know that that's actually what that is. It's not like it's canon that that's been a place of conflict. So it would be really interesting to have this boil over to a point where we're actually doing a showdown in the Sacred Realm. And, you know, like, maybe the sages are still there and the sages are involved in the conflict. It could be really cool. It could be really cool. Ah, Oh, shit. I drew the sword on the background. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. So I think I want to make that more severe. And then have the arm hanging down. And then we want the head facing a little more towards us. Like, if Zelda's wielding the power of the Triforce, she would be the key to accessing that. Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it like we were saying earlier, it seems like Zelda has the entire Triforce on her side. So, she, and from what we've seen, likely the Master Sword itself, would be the key to getting into the Sacred Realm. And so, you know, it is still Zelda, like meaning the Zelda series. So we could have her get captured by Demise to basically be used as a key against her will, but we could invert that. It's just a matter of how, right? Like, I mean, it would be satisfying to invert that and have her. It'd be fun to have to go to the Temple of Time with her to go there. Yes, that would be really cool. Well, and it would be, if you were going to do something like that, you'd need to split the game in two and have Zelda levels, or like not levels, but Zelda sections and Link sections, right? That would be the best way to do that. So I mean, you'd almost want to have Link lose the fight. Right? You have this, you could have this, I don't know if this is something they actually do from a gameplay perspective, but from a story perspective, you mean with her accompanying? Yes, I understand that you mean that, but hear me out here, right? If you want Zelda to be more of a driving force, which I think would be cool, especially since it doesn't seem like the Triforce is split up right now. It seems like she has the whole thing, which means Link doesn't really need to be there for that action. It would be interesting to have Link lose the fight with Demise. Like, defeat Ganon, Demise is reborn, and then at least at that point in the game you have Link lose the fight with Demise. I don't know, am I off base there? I feel like that could be cool. Because I think, while it would be cool to have her accompanying you, it would be... Oh, it's a very early stream, Mooney. We're on for another 4 hours still, though. Hey, how you doing? It would be cool for Zelda to not be like a companion character, you know? It would be fun for her to be more playable. Next spring, I'll be watching this VOD and probably wincing horribly with hindsight. Oh yeah, well, none of this is going to happen. But it's fun to think about. There's no way that Zelda's going to be a playable character. I think the odds of that are pretty slim. I know people have been asking for it. Oh, no, I know you are. Yeah, I hear you, Corey. Yeah, I know you're into the playable Zelda. It's just, well, and, you know, like I've said already, I am too. I just don't know that that's how they're actually going to take the franchise. I think you would probably be right in saying that she would come with you as a companion character in order to get into the Sacred Realm. But will Tingle be playable in this one? Tingle will actually be the main character. Zelda's playable in the Wand of Gamelon. Which one is that? I don't know what that is. CDI game. What does she do? Is she like a main playable character, or is it like a special side quest, or what? She's the main character. All right. The series of games that we don't mention unironically. So they're favorites then. I almost want this to just be a shadow. Like, I want the fiery hair. You had to play them with a TV remote? What? I don't understand. I don't like what you just said to me. Ooh, I do kind of like this pose. We could use this pose. Here, look at. I like putting this. There we go. Something like that behind him. I really like that pose. Short clip of Wand of Gamelin in the Discord. Oh dear. Just on the thumbnail alone. Alright, hold on. Let's observe. Ah, itchy nose. Stop it. Top tier, obviously. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, so there's that. Hold on, I'm sorry. I need a tissue. And some more water. So I don't really think that, you know, like Corey, you mentioned we'll look back at this in spring and wince, and you're totally right, because this is totally not going to happen. But I would really like for Demise to be more prominent in the lore. Like, you establish a character like that, which was just such a great villain. I loved Demise so much. And you establish a character that feels that powerful and feels that important, and he's never been around, and we're doing this thing where we're trying to bring the timelines together, and everything is kind of homogenizing into a single canon and a single story we can tell. It just feels like the right time to bring back Demise as the villain, and make things a little more foreboding. The other Zelda CDI game is Faces of Evil, which features the famous shopkeeper Morshu. And there's a third one called Zelda's Adventure. That one is less funny, though. And all of these are playable by television remote. It's alright, Boogie. Just hang out. Mama will be back in a little bit. Oh, my HelloFresh is on the way. Zelda's the main playable character in all except Faces of Evil. Is Faces of Evil Link as the main character then? Okay, so if we're gonna do that, then we'd need to push this shoulder back like that, and then have the shadow come in. The head would be kind of in this section. We've got kind of a bigger shoulder up here, the hand taking up that space. Zelda is also one of 3 playable characters in Cadence of Hyrule. I remember when the promotional stuff started coming out for Cadence of Hyrule, but I never really looked much into the game itself. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Big head like that. His head is very wide in the middle. You've got the big fiery hair. I'm just doodling in volumes right now, but I loved Crypt of the Necrodancer, so it was a day one purchase for you. And was it? Did it live up to your expectations? The cutscene's indescribable. The one I just watched? We've got the big old box chests coming out like that. Just bring in his ribcage like that. Here it would start like devolving into shadow. It looks kind of Wreck-It Ralphie at the moment. Go down that side and down that side. That's approximately okay. I'm not hating it so far. Like I said, we're just getting shapes in at the moment, but I just think it would be so cool to have Demise come back. And that's really the main motivation behind this theory. Like, if I'm being honest, it's just that I really like Demise and would like to have him back as a villain. And so I tried to shoehorn him into the logic in any way I possibly could. I think I kind of succeeded. Well, and Corey, you definitely helped flesh that out and make more sense of it. The whole thing with bringing in the sages, that kind of brings it all together, because that brings the whole concept of the Triforce and Demise versus Hylia and the Master Sword and the Curse and everything. That kind of brings it all into a single beast. It was super sick. The core gameplay of Necrodancer with the mechanics and story of Zelda games, that does sound really cool. Best part was probably that in Necrodancer you're confined to the floors of a dungeon, but in Hyrule you can explore all around the overworld in Zelda-style dungeons. Oh, that is really cool. You were all in on the stages when you saw the trailer. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think we can be pretty confident that the stages are at least somehow involved, which would hopefully mean that we're doing more with the actual Triforce. And then the other 90% of your commentary was noodling around on the Zelda wiki. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on there. Didn't they just separate from fandom? They just made themselves their own site, if I'm not mistaken. I want this Ganon. I want this Ganon to look like almost dejected. Like it would be kind of cool to see Ganon made servant. You know, because that is kind of what's going on here, right? All this time Ganon has been a servant of the big guy. So I would very much like to see a game that cements that and is like, hey, just so we're clear, the big bad is this one. The story's about me, not him. Also, why not bring back Lorule if we're in the shadowy underside of Hyrule anyway? Yes, absolutely. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about because there's the inverted Triforce on Demise's sword, and we wanted to do this whole thing where the bringing together of the spirit of Demise in Ganondorf and the sword, which was lost somewhere in Hyrule, could bring Demise back out and kind of resurrect him from inside of Ganondorf. And that sword seems like it could be very heavily connected to Lorule, which was something that Corey brought up earlier because of the inverted Triforce. So, I mean, it would be really great for it to be like the story of Demise's repeated attempts of conquest on different worlds and how his destruction of the Triforce in his world led to the degradation of Lorule, and then why he came to Hyrule in order to try and assert dominion again, but this time using their power rather than destroying it. And then Ganon goes to try and destroy the Triforce to end the cycle so that he can finally rule, and then Demise comes out and he's like, whoa. So we're getting Breath of the Wild style Ravio? I mean, wouldn't that be great, though? I'd be all for it. Okay, so I want more slump here. I want this shoulder up higher. And this one down lower. So that would go a little more like that. And then to there. And then what if he's like that, he's reaching, so the crook of his thumb would be in here like this. So that should be going down, and his thumb should be up over the top of it. And his hand is behind. And then you've got this larger, longer arm right here, like he's some kind of ultimate re-dead. Actually, might be kind of busted in Breath of the Wild since his shop items wouldn't break. That would be nutty. Actually. Ravio presents the real Master Sword. Yeah, and it's his left arm that has all of these rags on them, so we could have a lot of that hanging stuff right here. which would look kind of cool. Right, do something kind of like that. And then we know that that's hanging across his chest there. I like the idea of, after all of the time we've been afraid of Ganondorf, suddenly he's subservient to something that's so much scarier. Like, we kind of, like I said, we implied that by having Demise come first, but we've never really seen it, which would cement how scary Demise is, to have Ganon, like, buckle for somebody. More things should break. Glider durability wins. Sign me up. I want that glider to just shatter while I'm 500 feet above the ground. I have to catch myself with a fall cancel. Item throw, fall cancel. Limited bombs, yes. Honestly, Breath of the Wild had you just had too much freedom. We gotta dial it back. You know, while we're at it, I want loading zones. Not just when you warp. If I cross over into another region, the whole game should freeze. Motorcycle can explode if you hit anything. Yes. Yes. Horses have a hunger bar, and if you don't feed them, they die. If you want load times, you definitely should learn the sky bomb thing. That's right, that does freeze the game a little bit, doesn't it? That needs to be a little bit higher up. Okay, so we've got front of his chest is like there. We have the hips rotated a little bit more. We need to twist between those two. There's kind of that big ring thing on his belt right there. And that kind of sweeps across his hips. I just think it would be so sick. Like reaching out in front of him there. I need to see Demise's sword. Horses can get corrupted by Demise and turn into Lionels. Honestly, I don't hate that idea, because I was talking about having I will be right there for that, cats. I was talking earlier about how, like, I think it would be cool to do a Twilight Princess-y kind of thing, and when Demise rises to power, you corrupt the world and have a sort of Twilight blanket thing happen that turns the benign things in the world into monsters. And that would be a good time to bring in friendly monsters, which is something that I would like to see back in the world also. Because you could have people that get corrupted and turned into monsters but still maintain some of their mind. And then they're like shopkeepers that have been turned into monsters. Anyway, but yes. Unironically, yes. But at the same time, I mean, like, it's a little rude that you think you can just, like, step in on who a horse is as a person. Horses are people, and you should consider them people. And if you think you can just turn them into Lionels, frankly, I'm disgusted. And a little bit hurt. I'm gonna be honest. It's not It's not sitting right with me. It's making me feel like the culture here on Twitch is getting a little dark. It's getting a little too hashtag gamer for me. I have a drinking problem. We're breaking boundaries, and not the good kind. You're eating me up inside by. Actually, horses aren't people. Crabs are people. Crab people are people. They taste like crab and talk like people. I would love the ALTTP manga. What is? Do that again, but not as a... oh, A Link to the Past. Right. I would? Should I read it? Would it be fitting? It's only one book, so I wouldn't get ADHD. There's hope. No, that's great. I should actually give that a try then. Okay, hold on. Demise sword. I have the shape slightly wrong. But that's why we looked it up. Okay. I see what I'm doing here. Okay, so it should be going... like that. Just rough shapes for now. And then there's a straight section here, basically, with the little outcropping. And then that's where the Triforce is. And then we've got that kind of bulges out into 1, 2, 3. Hey, Lola. Too loud, kid. Still holds up 30 years later? I'll have to check it out. You'd recommend any of the manga, but Link to the Past has a really cool interpretation of the Dark World. Maybe that would help me flesh out this theory. Lola. Quiet. Quiet. Excuse me. You don't know about the manga, that was a recommendation about the game. Copy that. It's fine, I'm just sneezing. Thank you. I kind of like the structure of this drawing. I think it's got good vibes. I'm just going to moosh all of these into a single. Austin needs spicy hot chocolate? Always. Okay, so scale of 1 to 10, how impossible, 10 being not a chance in hell, do you think the return of Demise is? And yes, I'm aware that I've proportioned him like Wreck-It Ralph. 7? I'll take 7. 7 sounds pretty good to me. Okay. So we're going to do the Demise shadow first. Three, the boat was the villain all along. Always fear boats. If there's one thing that playing Minecraft has taught me, it's always fear boats. So we want a warm gray here. I want to put like really. There's his tattoos are mostly black, but I want to make them like a little bit red. With the king being a lumberjack in his afterlife, would have loved to see him building a boat. That would have been great. And I'm on a separate layer, right? Okay. We're going to lock this whole group just to make sure I don't screw that up. Because the likelihood of me screwing that up is fairly high. Are you perhaps referring to King Rome, Busvarama's Hyrule? That's the one and only. You gotta tack the name of the country you rule on the end there, otherwise people might forget that you're a king. Both he and King Daphnis Hansen Hyrule. I think I like this silhouette. No, Hanson is also my rule when passing off the aux cord. What? No mbop? Come on. Wrong button. There we go. Well, yeah. What happened to my music bar? Hold on. Oh well, that's an issue for later. No need to panic. I'm here. It's just because I made it too narrow. So when it adjusted to be fatter, it pushed the progress bar off the top. But I'll fix that later. That's not a right now thing. I'm panicking even though there's no need to. That's good. That's good, not cats. That's good for your heart health. Always panic. When in doubt, panic. Panic happens to be one of my favorite songs by another Austin. What Austin? And do they know me? Are we the same? Because I'm pretty big on panicking also. N.E. Austin? Really? Nice. Does the N.E. stand for Northeast, or is it something else? Though it's spelled N.E. Austin now. Not enlightened. See what that was. They're also Frostin' and the Excellent Man from Minneapolis and Mr. Senior Austin and the One Show Fun. So is it just a problem that Austins have in general, that we can't just pick a name and stick to it? Is that something I share with my countrymen? Seems to be. this is working for the most part. I can't help but notice that he doesn't have nipples. Not that I was checking for nipples, but I wasn't not checking for nipples. Starting to take some shape in here. Just little bits at a time. We know he's got this, like, bonkers chin. Like, really, really serious chin action going on this guy. Threw it in grooves and tunes, even though technically that channel is supposed to be for our music, but no one uses it that way. It's for music. Do whatever you want. Rules are made to be changed, broken, redefined. Let's hear it. This is cool. I like this. You can't hear it? Why can't you hear it? It's supposed to be monitoring my desktop audio. Well, I don't know what to do about that. Oh wait, I do. Hold on. How about now? There we go. Now it's coming through.
Tell me around.
I'm definitely digging this. Reminds me of the olden golden days of Listen Together. Ah, yes. Good times. Very good times. watch together. It might still exist. I didn't actively get rid of it, so.
Tell me you're right. Tell me you're right. Tell me you're
Oh. I don't know where I'm going with this right now. Like, I don't know how in detail I want him to be. Kind of just playing with putting colors down, seeing what feels good. I want him to look kind of backlit. I want to lose detail as we get down here. I know that. No. Fuck. What's the point of these swatches if I can't touch them? Oh. There we go. As we get down here, Ganon's body should be taking up most of our frame. So I shouldn't really need to worry about it much. Big Backpack Hero Halloween update just dropped. Oh, you do have to make time to play that. That game is cool. What comes in the Halloween update? It's on sale right now? Ooh. I might go for that. I'm trying to save up for, like, VR stuff that I know I'm going to want to spend money on. But that one does look really cool. Tricks and treats, I'm sure. Yeah, I'll bet. The treatiest. So Treaty had put Versailles to shame. These French bastards won't know what hit them. No shrimping while drawing? Am I shrimping? What's shrimping mean? What do I do? Only the sheriff may shrimp. You aren't really shrimping, but you are kind of curled forward. Shrimping is hunching over the table while working. Oh, you mean like this? Like what I normally do. Not hunched forward. Oh, sorry, I have to censor the stream. I'm about as leaned back as I can be. Hey, here, there we go. We'll go like this. There we go. I'll draw from all the way back here. I just have to concentrate. How am I doing? I think this is working. This looks better than I thought it was going to. I mean, it doesn't really look like anything right now. But I feel like it's taking shape. It's currently 15 buckaroos. Halloween update adds Halloween music, Halloween main screen 11 new Halloween items, 4 common items, redesigned map generation with new events and rooms, and rebalancing of several features. Get a pen display and hold it over your head like you're sketching in bed. Wait, I do have a pen display. That's what I've been working on. Hold on. I have the zoom on. This isn't going to work. There we go. Can you even see me? I'm over here. Hi. I'll be honest. This is challenging. Ah, yes, peak art. Rebalancing infinite magic patch. Was there an infinite magic problem? I mean, it doesn't sound like a problem to me. The devs are really cool too. They have design contests on their Discord all the time for users to make new items, enemies, playable characters, and reskins. That's cool. That is really cool. Oh, fuck. Wait. Hold on. There we go. I feel like he's kind of working. They encourage you to find infinites? So what is the infinite magic situation here? feel like this is working, but I need to do more blending. One of the characters is set up like making a circuit board for energy to flow through and activate items. With the right conduits, you can infinitely chain splitting and repeating of energy to never end your turn. Oh my god. That sounds fantastic. My toe hurts so badly. Oh my god. Okay. We were joking about it in the stream, but then Moody actually made it happen. Nice. I mean, so, but they encourage you to do that. Like it's not a bug, or it's one of those bugs that became intended play. Lots of thorn damage on free or on weapon contact, so it's not a free win button. People were reporting it in the Discord as unintended, but they were like, "Nah, I could easily patch that if we wanted. We want you to have fun trying to make the ultimate machine." I mean, that's kind of cool. It's neat that they're just like, "No, go nuts, make it so." Oh. It requires several rare parts, so you have to work for it the whole run and be lucky anyway. So it's not like... If it's not like super easy to accomplish, then I mean it's kind of like a bonus. Well, and I mean from their perspective, it's something that will get people replaying and replaying and replaying trying to pull it off. So it's probably a good thing. Honestly, I'm not hating that. I feel like it's looking okay, especially up in that shoulder area. His head right now kind of looks like Dave Bautista. But we'll work on that. Since I'm scrunching in and getting into it, we'll tilt the camera down a little bit. I just got a concerning notification from Sonic about a steak butter bacon burger. What's concerning about it aside from the cholesterol? What's concerning is it's not in my belly right now. That's concerning. I'm concerned about my FOMO. I feel like we need a darker dark. I missed the cheese part of cheeseburgers, so I had cheese too. I mean that sounds pretty tasty to me. I don't think it would do particularly good things for my diet, but it would do really good things for my soul. Just add some caramelized onions while we're at it. Great ideas all around. You might not mean that, but I do. Make it happen, Captain. You do. Remove the mayo, though. Oh no, I'd keep the mayo. I'm a mayo man. I deliver mayo from house to house. The good news is I do think we're making him sufficiently jacked, which is kind of important. Like, if he doesn't look absolutely shredded, I don't think he's technically Demise. That fan art from earlier was not sufficiently jacked. You're right, it wasn't. Yeah, it was looking like it was like fuckboy Demise. That was what it looked like. Hey, Bentagon, welcome in. You checked it on the app already, and it has grilled onions. Oh, nice. Nice. How's it going, Bentagon? I think we're doing pretty good over here. How are things in your world? Doing pretty all right. Right on. We're just working on a Tears of the Kingdom painting based on a fan theory that I was talking about earlier in the stream. Gonzaben is no longer being epic science guy. Are we done sciencing for today? Moody's trying to scare us with a burger, but we're too far gone to feel fear. Yeah, I think it just made us more powerful, to be honest. Yeah, we're just drawing this Ganondorf with Demise over his shoulder. You feel intimidated by that hand? It's reaching for you. Middle finger's a little bit too long. Want to try the Five Guys grilled cheeseburger? I have not tried that, but it sounds really good. Yeah, I'd be into it also. I haven't been to Five Guys in a minute. Back to normal random comments now. Right, there we go. I feel like I need a little bit of that darker color. Just kind of right in the crux here. Maybe working up into here. You don't really get Five Guys? What don't you get about it? There are these guys, and there are 5 of them. And they all make burgers. to strengthen their friendship. If you order everything on the menu, you will achieve nirvana. You don't have to eat it, you just have to order it. It being $9 for a cheeseburger with no fries or drink. Is it really that expensive? I haven't been there in a while. I mean, they absolutely fuck you up with fries when you order them. That does seem pretty pricey. I haven't been there in a minute. Everything is expensive in LA. It feels like McDonald's is like $18 for a burger. Well, and I guess a lot of that came from during the pandemic. We were ordering mobile a lot, which that's super expensive. We're not really doing that anymore. They give you so much food and it's greasy and so good. I couldn't agree more, Rose. It is greasy and good. That might be for the bacon cheeseburger, but I pieced out after my first visit. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. At those prices, it's a lot. But personally, I'm a fan. I feel like this needs some kind of like, at least just something to define the... Are those too far apart? Those abs feel too far apart. A little bit. It does make him look wide, but a little bit too wide. I need to pull these in into here. Been thinking lately about the fact that we have one more on this side than we do on the other. About how that Last Airbender show is looming on the horizon. Now, if we could get a cookout out to all of us in Cali, that'd be... I mean, I'd be down with that. Cook it out. I'm sold. I've been worried about that Last Airbender live action show. It feels like it's getting closer, which has me nervous. That's still a thing. Netflix is doing it. They've got like a cast list out and everything. They're not doing it with the original creators anymore. I'm excited to see how the train wrecks. No, it's gonna be good, Corey. It's gonna be really good. You won't watch it? I'll watch it. I mean, I shouldn't say I'll watch it. I'll start it. We'll see. We'll see how it actually ends up going. I'm not confident that that's something I'm gonna want to like commit myself to. It's honestly not bad. Kind of liking the way he's feeling. Especially... I think that could work. This is looking alright. I mean, this finger needs to be fixed. Something's a little too peenly. But the main problem is that it's too long. It like doesn't feel proportional. Like it gets too fat at the end. It needs to come to more of a point, and then the thumb. That thumb looks like it should be hooking around, and it's not. You know, like it should be. Wait. If we're looking at it like this, right? We've got this going on. So we've got the thumb is gonna look stumpy, but it should be coming down, like how you can see that it's doing that along here. And then that ends up pretty much right in the middle, the end of the thumb does. And then this one needs more of a hook to it. And that should be skinnier. So it's in the right ballpark, but we need to do some tweaking to the hand. And I'm going to want to add some tattoos to Demise. He's all blending in down here. I'm going to be having some, like, shadow vignette coming up from the bottom that'll help absorb some of this stuff. But still needs to be worked. But yeah, I think they gave the original creators of whatchamacallit, Last Airbender, they have been given their own animation studio under Nickelodeon. And they have separated from the Netflix live action project. And they're making, I think as far as we know, there's a Zuko movie. And they were greenlit for 3 movies, and I feel like we've learned what the main premise is for 2 of them. And one of them's Zuko for sure, because I'm excited about that one. I think the other one is Korra, like after the finale. But don't quote me on that because I don't remember. And then the third one I think is still unknown. But you know, I'm hopeful. We'll see what it ends up being. I'm much more interested in what they're cooking up than what Netflix is cooking up. I will look at both. But I'm deeply concerned about what's going to happen on the Netflix project. I need this to be lower flow. Okay, and then this one, we know we need to kind of shave this down a little bit. The lighting is mostly right, but the shape is a little bit off on some of this. Shape's really messed up in here. I'm gonna need to fix that with just a little bit of pushing of things. I really want to believe that live action avatar isn't going to be a nightmare. If not for any reason, then just the fact that, like, if it fails, it's definitely never going to happen. Like, we'll never actually get a good one. They'll just not do it again. At least not for years and years and years. But most likely just not at all. Which kind of sucks, you know? It seems like something that would be really conducive to a live action adaptation. Just would look really cool. But trying to take the kind of vibes you get out of a cartoon and putting them in live action, I mean, we've seen it happen many, many times with different animations that have been made into a live action. It just is really hard to pull off convincingly. It just doesn't tend to... It doesn't tend to work out, you know? I think we need more, like, main arm mass down here. Shh. That needs to connect more. Definitely looks a little wonky. Shh, 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 shh. You're alright. Hey, 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 hey. It's alright. Don't worry about it. Come here. You're fine. You're okay. You're all good. Yeah, no barks allowed. Exactly. We're just woofing. We're woofing at the fire trucks, huh? Don't worry about them. those are other dogs. You're gonna start a midnight bark. Don't do it. Quiet. Just go lay down. Go lay down. Booger. Go lay down. It's all good. I'm gonna try and just move this around a little bit. Just kind of reshape that a little bit. Whoa. And this finger needs to feel a little fatter. Okay with this one being where it is. So we know his face has this like big open X-shaped gash. Let's see. I can kind of just define the outer limits of that shape. This side of it needs to be a little bit fatter. And then we know he's got these huge brows. I kind of shadowed in on here, but I need to kind of define it a little bit better. comes down to a point, comes up this way. Same is true over here. To be honest, I'm not really feeling how this is turning out. Can't really zero in on a level of detail I want for him, and I'm kind of ending up in this, like, kind of middle ground purgatory that I'm not super psyched about. What the fuck? Oh. I don't know. I might need to do some more sketch work for this and come back to this painting. It's like I kind of have some understanding of what I want this to be. But I think I need to do more concept sketches. Thinking about pivoting to Botman. I may just be losing my focus. It's possible. It's known to occur. But there's nothing wrong with shifting tack. We're only about halfway through, so actually it's probably a good time to do that. I'm going to do some more sketch work with this Demise Ganondorf painting while I'm at work this week. And I'll bring those sketches into my computer and have this a little more figured out when I retackle it next week. But for now, I think we're going to bring Botman back. So let me see. That means a slight rearrangement of my area here. Take this guy. Put it up here. Alrighty. That. I don't want to put that there. Hold on. I think I will plonk this into new folder. Alrighty. Ooh. We've got the spooky tunnel. Go on forever and ever and ever. I went the wrong way. Should be that way. Okay. So what I can do here is I'm going to launch Botman, and then I need to go grab my laptop. I guess I don't need to do that scripting right now. I really just want to get him to the point where he can be running on stream again, so we'll do that right now. The only thing I think he was missing versus the Stream Elements bot is 8-Ball. Other than that, I think he was running. Quote horoscope should work. We should have that one. What'd you get? Don't make me threaten you with a saw. I'm a very violent person. Stream Elements is going to get banned just for repeating the words that come out of my mouth. What I'm going to do... Okay. So first things first, let's make sure he's launching infinite Austins indeed. We reach on forever and ever. I'm working on cloning myself. That way there can be tons of me that won't stay focused. Alright, so it needs to be that one. Where are we at here? Sources, display capture, and we're going to switch it to that one. There we go. Now we can see Botman. And he should boot correctly if I just say F5. And that gives me a little window to run him in. Let's see here. Good morning, Botman. Didn't recognize that. Okay. Quote 123. Perfect. Okay, that seems to be working. Quote. Ah, good test, Corey. Yeah, it should just be looking for the completed word. Well, because we can see here Got to run down the line. But if we do... Testers haven't really been in use, but I'm leaving it there for now. Oh yeah, links should work. I should update those to include the new stuff, but the nice thing is that's actually pulling it from a file. I gotta be careful here because I don't want to put my OAuth token on the screen, but I'll open up the file. Debug, netcore, responses. Yeah, so those are all the say commands, just stored as a dictionary, so I can go in here and edit these. I did update that. I just didn't bother to update the links, I guess. Oh, merch is back. I can fix that one. Hey, Hermit, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Should be that. And then that should update in real time, so if I just say... Nice. And Stream Elements is out of date. Stream Elements... What is that one? Is that what I was using before? Oh yeah, it's the old Watch Together. There you go. So that answers Moody's question. Merch, we got shaders, we got music. And then here are all the quote commands. So we've got, if it's just quote, it'll do a random quote call. I'm BRB Moody too. He'll be back at some point. Might be lurking. Yeah, we've got remove. Oh yeah, and it looks like I built in alternates, if I'm not mistaken. I'm still doing a little bit of refreshing here. Quotes. There's the list. Yeah, quote commands. So where do I define that? Where do I have it pull that? Yeah. Quote commands from working data test. Yeah. And so what I have in there is this makes it more friendly to different syntaxes. So it basically checks to see if it's any of these things, and then I can go in here and modify this. And then we have edit and overwrite in a few different layouts, and so those all just become edit. So, yeah, so we say what are we defining as I? What are we iterating through? Oh, yeah. Okay. This seems like really clunky. But I mean, that's the thing. I don't know everything about what I'm doing. I'm doing my best here. But what it basically does is if the message starts with quote, why are we setting search to true there? What am I actually doing with that variable? Am I doing anything? Oh, at the very bottom here. I see. So that's a catch. Got it. I feel like that could be accomplished with an if-else. I must have tried that and then screwed something up and then it didn't want to work with me. But basically what I'm having it say is if the message starts with quote, like exclamation point quote, then it sets search to true, and then if any of these catch it, it'll set search to false. That's a really clunky way to go about that. I guess if it works, it works. And so it just goes down the line. If the entire message is just quote, then it knows to do a regular quote call. If the message starts with any of the things in add, so in that dictionary that I pulled up before for add, it would have exclamation point quote add quote with and without spaces, all of the different versions of that. If the message starts with any of those, it'll iterate through that list and that seems redundant. Am I wrong? Are these like actually working? Let's see. If I say quote edit we'll say 28. Well, let's find out what it was first. Quote 28 is I kick babies. So we'll say we'll do quote edit 28 and then we say I kick. We're gonna make it an exclamation point. So that did work. And then I can just put it, so if I say quote 28 again. Oh wait, hold on. Quote 28. Botman. Does it have to be lowercase for you? That would be a weird mistake. Oh no, he got there. He got there. He just had to reread the new file. That was very slow. Not super happy about that. Oh no, you did it lowercase. That's why it went through. Okay. So it was the lowercase. So that's a stupid little thing that I'll need to fix. That definitely shouldn't need to have a capital Q or a lowercase q. But I can have it just ignore case. Alright, so then I should be able to put it back. Quote, edit, 28, I kick babies. Done. That works pretty good. Alright. That's good because that means it's successfully pulling from that list, which was the main thing I was concerned about there. Like, it looks like it did actually pull, because that's the one I used. So the way this would be fixed is to have it take the message and I need to modify that to be caseless. I don't actually remember what I'm supposed to do that. I removed the quotation marks. It had quotation marks originally. Oh. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Corey. So that all works fine. And then one adjustment I wanted to make. Is that how I can do that? Oh, I'm needing to refresh my brain here on syntax. If I want to do an or statement here, what is it that I need to do? Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Why are we angry here? What did I do wrong? I'm being beeped. Hold on. Oh, my food order's here. My groceries. Hold on just a second. Why are you mad at me here? What did I do wrong? How can we be short of parentheses? Oh, we are short of parentheses. Do I not need that one? Is that what I was doing wrong? Does it live? Okay, and then we connect. And I should be able to say, if we do quote, it does that. And if we do quote horoscope, it should still just do it. Okay, perfect. Alright, so that part is still functional. Because the problem that it had before I made that adjustment is if you'd done quote horoscope, it would have tried to search the quote list for the word horoscope, which is not going to work. Alright, that works. I'm going to grab my food really quick. Stay there, pup. Okay. Give me just 1 second to throw this stuff in the fridge. Alright. Sweet. Alright, I'm back. Alrighty. So that means the only thing we're really missing is 8-ball in terms of things that actually get used in the Stream Elements bot, which I can double check here. Chatbot. So what do we have? Nobody really uses the dual thing. Follow age does get used, but I can just keep that one alive. Don't use song requests. We don't use song. Channel points. We don't use Stream Elements channel points. That's all related to their channel points. Don't use queues. Some of the moderator stuff would be nice. But the follow age info from Stream Elements isn't even necessarily correct, is it? I feel like if I get 8-ball, we're pretty much good to go. If tester list contains username. So who all is on the tester list right now? Obviously Corey is, because it's letting you do stuff. It's Corey, Leo, Pimp, Moody, Jakob, and Benzagon. So what I think I want to do here, I'll leave this inside this nested if statement for now. Leave it inside the tester list. And we have this game commands. And actually, I'm going to go to here. So if message starts with 8-ball, which needs to be in quotes. Then what do we need to do? I've been setting everything up as separate functions that are all defined at the top. This should be pretty close to how hello functions. I should be able to basically say private void 8-ball. I don't know if I can put a number in those definitions. Okay, I can. I'm good. Yeah, so what I'm going to need to have it do is select from a random... the easiest way to do this is have it just select from a random list of 30 responses being either yes, no, or maybe. And we can have a bunch of different versions of each of those. So it should be pretty straightforward. I should be able to basically just paste this into here. And we're going to import a separate dictionary, which is going to be 8-ball. And I just need to create that dictionary inside my responses folder. I'm trying to be very careful because in this folder, if I opened this, which I'm not going to do, that would reveal my my OAuth token for the channel, which I don't really want to, stream out. Seems like a bad idea. Okay, so in responses, we have all the hello responses, for which there are just 2. And right now, I'm not really sure if I had it actually determining so it's just making a list out of the keys in that dictionary. I'm not really sure I understand why this is doing that. But imagine the potential for cancel Austin. It would really make the process a lot more efficient, that's for sure. Okay, wait. So, what it's doing right now is it's making a new random, which is fine. And then it's saying import this dictionary right here. Right? Import the dictionary from the JSON using a read-write function that I wrote, the file manager that's right here. So it's importing that dictionary to this variable, dict. And then it's saying make a new list called keys and populate that list with new user, returning user, and alt. And then it's saying index. But why, how is it just randomly selecting whether you're a new or returning user? Is that what it's doing right now? That's what it looks like it's doing. I don't know why it wouldn't just select this from a list. Is it because my dictionary or my read-write function doesn't handle lists? We can import dictionary. We can import a dictionary of lists. But it's not even doing that. Because this is not a list dict. We do have some of those, like for the say command. Say oh no, that wouldn't be say, because say just has one response for each. Okay, so that's not the one. Are any of them even using the dictionary of lists? I mean, it's good to have it, but I don't think I'm actually using that right now. There we go. So we're doing that here for the commands. Okay, so that's the only spot we're doing that. So that's that new thing that I created where you can have multiple different versions of a question or of a command that you enter. That's the only thing it's using the list dictionary for right now. So when we go up to 8-ball, what I really want it doing man, the hello command is a complete joke right now. So there's a whole missing section in here where that index shouldn't be random. It should be determined by comparing the username to a list that it should be maintaining, and it's not doing that right now. So that's something that I need to fix. But just to prove that, it should say nice to meet you sometimes also. So if I say hello, hey, nice to meet you, welcome back. Yeah, so it's doing all three without like an actual reason. So that's something that needs to be fixed in the hello command. That's fine for now. 8-ball needs to actually work. So I think we might actually do an import list dict here. And the way I'm going to do this is we've got our responses page. I'm going to paste this here and rename that. Hello. We'll do this one as 8-ball. And we want to open that up.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Horchata. I've pivoted. I'm working on Botman now.
Mm.
Okay. So we're now in 8-ball. And what we want here is yes. Hey, Pimp, how you doing? No? Maybe. This doesn't really need to be like this, but since we don't have... And I'm going to double check that. We don't have a way to just import a list as of right now. No, we don't. How's everyone else? We're hanging out, man. We're chilling. Okay, it's angry at me here. Why? Oh, because I'm not calling for one. It should be... Yeah, it's trying to convert, which it shouldn't be. So this needs to be... Dictionary... String, list of strings. There we go. That's a little happier. Okay, so it's looking for that. And then we need to do something a little different down here. Botman is alive. Goodbye, Demise / Ganon. Yeah, I pivoted from Demise / Ganon because I was frustrated and losing focus, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to work on Botman now. I'm going to do some more sketches of the layout for that Demise painting while I'm at work today, or this week, and revisit that one next week. Also, guess the push-up economy remains stable. Oh, did we reach it? Have we reached the push-ups? Does that mean I have to do those on Wednesday? I offered extra if Botman didn't return by Monday. But I said a week from Monday, right? Not this Monday, the following Monday. Monday the 31st, yeah. So I should make it. We should be okay. Today's Monday. Dear heavens, it's always been Monday. We live in an endless string of Mondays, one followed by another. What a terrible day to be a fat cat. Truly tragic, and no lasagna to be seen. This Monday, one cat will face his destiny. With lasagna lost the world over, and every single day converted to Mondays. Garfield Rising, in theaters Monday. Obviously voiced by Chris Pratt. He did actually get cast as Garfield, didn't he? Yeah, still confused about how Garfield is Mario. Yeah, Pratt wouldn't have been my first choice. I have a feeling that the voice is gonna... It's gonna end up sounding better in context. I think they probably picked one of the worst clips. Not to say that I have hope that it's gonna be great. I think it's probably not as bad as it looks. But God, it's still pretty bad. Like I saw some people pointing out that he sounds like Linda Belcher, which he does. But Linda Belcher very much has an accent. Like it's a Jersey accent, but you know, whatever. Why did he say "here we go" and not "let's go"? Well, the "let's go" is the Italian accent, but at least "let's go," right? Well, he said "here we come." He could have said "here we go." That would have been better. I don't know. I commented it on TikTok, and I don't think that they want it to be like the same. And I'm not saying that's a great idea, but I feel like we should reserve judgment until we've seen it all in context. I'm not saying that's going to turn out to be better. I'm just saying it could be fine. I try to be positive, and it's really hard in this situation. Would be cool if Mario gets hit too hard and sounds like Charles Martinet for a moment. That would be cool. I saw somebody had some theory that because somebody's been cast as Cranky Kong, the theory was that they'd have Martinet play Mario's father. Like have him be the old Mario. That would be pretty funny. Whatever happens, it's gonna be weird. There's no version of this that's comfortable. Surely some random New Yorker on the street could have pulled off a Captain Lou voice. Yeah. Look, it's not good. I'm not saying it's good. I really want it to turn out to be not as bad. I mean, because everything else about that movie, honestly, hype. Like, it looks cool. I really like the way the movie looks. I like the way it feels. I like the Bowser voice. I think Jack Black did a good job. Did I or did I not tell you, Moody, that Keegan-Michael Key would be able to do a Toad voice? That's totally a Toad voice. It's not identical to video game Toad, but that would be ear sandpaper. I think he did a great job. I mean, all we heard was an exasperated yelp from Luigi, but that's pretty much most of what he does. It didn't make me want to shoot myself, so it wasn't accurate. Well, I'm sorry, Moody. Unfortunately, they want it to be digestible. What's the easiest way to do this? We're happy with that, I guess. And then we say, I'm going to keep this same line. Yeah, and then it just feels so pointless to do it this way. I should just be pulling from a random list. It's really annoying. I thought I had made a list, like a list import function. And I don't really want to have to sift back through how I did these import functions. Value match, key match. We don't even need to do any writing. I just need to be able to import. Theoretically, I should be able to just copy this exact thing and do it with a list, right? Like if I take this whole block and I copy it and I add a line here and I paste it, I should be able to make, I'm gonna go ahead and kill bot, man. I should be able to just do import list. Bowser is going to carry the movie and Luigi is going to carry the B plot. 100% on both of those things, yes. Kind of crazy how strong Bowser already was before getting a Power Star. Yeah, he was pretty beastly. So imagine how terrifying he's going to be with a Power Star. It's going to be like... it's going to be like the 3D World bonus content. Bowser's Fury. Ooh, I bet they actually will stylize it based on that. That could be really cool. He'd be scary in a movie. String file name, string subfolder. Fine. New list. String output equals list. Fine. Try JSON to serializer, blah blah blah. If I just convert this, it should work. And then I should be able to pull a list in directly. No overload method for add. It looks like you still wouldn't be happy with add range, so I don't know why you're telling me to do that. Yeah, no, still not happy. So why don't we just do add I think I might have to do it like that. Are you happy that way? Yes. And then why is this output mad? Oh, we're mad at the default now. Or at the I can't remember the word for anything. The way it's defined. Okay, that should be functional now. So I basically just took the import dictionary and converted it to import a list. So that when we're doing this, we should be able to just do import list and run it that way. And then I just need to format this as a list. Which we'll get to in just a second. Which one do I have? Working data test. Quote commands has lists in it. Yeah, so it should just be regular brackets. Right? Regular brackets with the items in quotes separated by commas. Okay, yes. So responses, 8-ball. And we're just going to say... for now, we'll say yes, no, maybe, and save it like that. And that'll just confirm that it's actually functional. Okay. So we're no longer importing a dictionary, we're just importing a list of strings. Hey Sky, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. What am I text to speeching? Isn't that supposed to require you to say something? Did I not? What should I... It did not require that. You were confused. Yeah, it should require that. What do you want me to say? Excuse me. Oh, you're going to tell me to say hi to Sky. Hi, Sky. Bowser is using Magic Koopa as a crutch. Don't trust his shown strength. Fair enough. There should still be an index for the list, right? So if I just go int index equals random dot next, and then in here we put list dot count, and then we say string output equals list index, and then we say irc dot send public chat message output. I think that'll work. And then I just need to go down here. So wait, let me double check the functionality there. Where are we? I shouldn't have scrolled away. Where'd it go? Come back to me. There we go. So, when is hello called? Okay. So we just want to say if message dot, whoops, no. Message equals, no, we should do starts with for this one. Starts with 8-ball. Then we want to say 8-ball. And that theoretically should work. So if I bring Botman back online, wrong headband color, purple. I could return Corey's seeds. Let me get purple. I'll be right back. Let that boot. Somebody try to do 8-ball. Okay. Okay, that looks like it's working. Has it done a maybe? It's very passionate about its responses. All right. On request. Hi, maybe. Okay, so that's good. All I would need to do there is add a bunch of alternate responses. So, let's do that now. Oh, that's bad. Don't say that. That goes away. Okay, so first of all, we'll make these a little more polite. So we got yes, we got no, we got maybe. All right, feed me responses. What else do you want them to say?
I'll be back.
Okay, see you in a little bit. Try again later. We'll count that as a maybe. Try again later. This guy says bye.
Bye.
These don't need to be next to each other, but I want them to be. How about an absolutely? It would seem so. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got it would seem not. How about a third no? Doubtful. Oh, I didn't quote mark it. Like I would know. That's a good one. I like that. I feel like that goes into maybe, right? Because that's not a no. It's a, I don't know. That's classified. trying to keep track of how many of each we have. Maybe I can put, I can separate them at least for now and then just remove that later. I'll tell you when I find out, that's for sure. Okay, good, good. We have a lot of snark in the maybe column. We need some snarky yeses and nos. Don't be afraid to be mean. Can't I copy from the stream elements list? No. Something like, ha 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 ha, are you serious? I've been asking myself that for years. It's gonna be all maybes. Is water wet? That's good. Indubitably. I feel like it's a pretty good start. We can keep adding them. Well, and that's the thing is, I should be able to, because I have a command to append to these. So we should be able to, after Botman's exported, still update these, even while it's running. Sure, if you want. I'll do that one too. Only on Tuesdays? Do we count that as a yes? I feel like we count that as a yes. It's not like it really matters because these all come through randomly. I just kind of want to try and have an equal distribution of affirmative and negatory. I can't believe you would ask me that. I'm going to count that as a no. Will quote be a response? Yes. But I need to give it a separate line for that. I can do that. That should work. So all I have to do is... Hold on. Not since the accident. We'll put that one in there. Okay. I'm going to put these last couple in here, and then I'm going to add the quote one. Because that's a little bit of extra code. Not since the accident. Recalculating. Sausage fingers. Okay. I'm going to clean that up. Kinda sus. And bruh. Alright. I gotta draw the line somewhere. And then we want this one, which is quote. And then I can save that. And we put it in the list, and then I just have one extra line to check. Where are we? So if output whoops. Parentheses, Austin, C#. Corey, I like that one too. Remind me. Hold on, I want to get this in here. Okay, output. So the way this works is if the output is quote, then it will do this. We want it to do the quote search command. Quote call. Oh, is this even pulling a username? It's not going to pull a username. We'll just skip that, because it outputs. So send public chat message. Oh, so we can just skip the target line. This might be a little more complicated than I thought. There's a glitch in my system. That's a good one too. I should just be able to run quote call. It probably should be adding you for all of these responses. Even hello, it should be adding you. Jesus. Because for like any of these quote commands, it pulls the username as soon as it pulls the private message. So I have that value to use for all of these. Bless you, it's not time to see him yet. I hope not. So we should be able to say string username output username Um, that still actually causes me a little bit of a problem. Because I don't need it to actually run the quote or the quote call function. I need it to run the guts of the quote call function, which are very long. But it's just the random quote. So I just need to take this block right here. No, this can still work. This can still work. So I do quote call, username, we'll just leave the message at default, and then is random true. Well, both of those have a default, so I should be able to just do the username. That'll work. So in here, we just need quote call username. And then that should work. And then else statements always seem to fail, but I'm going to try one anyway. I don't know why I can't get these right. Something's wrong with me. Okay, and then we should save this, close it. We should disconnect Botman and reboot him. Okay. Then if we boot... Oh good, build errors. What'd I do? What in the hell? What's happening here? Stop that. It just flipped out on me, but I think we're okay. What's happening? Am I having a network problem? Okay, let's make sure it's not trying to run anymore. And what are you telling me is wrong? There's no argument given that corresponds to username. Did I cut out there for a second? Are we still here? It seemed like my network burped, but it looks like we're okay. Well, hi. I'm back. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that one. And we're using this one. Perfect. Alright, now it should be happy. Yes? Gone again? That's not good.